Okay, so you really want to stop, don't you? You really want to stop. Okay, so this video is about how to stop using credit cards. So if you really want to know how to stop doing that, then make sure you stay tuned for this video. Hey guys, it's Lee and you're watching Hanging with Lee TV, and this channel is basically a lifestyle channel where I talk about all things life related. So life advice, personal finance, things like that. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, consider subscribing. This video is all about how to stop using credit cards. So before we start talking about how to actually stop using them, let's talk about the problems with credit cards, right? Now, one of the first things with credit cards that is a problem is that it's easy to overextend yourself. That's one of the first things, right? And also it's easy to get caught up in all the points that you can earn. I mean, a lot of people are just really super excited about the points when it comes to credit cards, and they sort of overuse their credit cards and end up digging themselves into a deep hole. And not to mention that it's easy to buy now and worry later. I mean, when it comes down to it, a lot of us do this, and it's not usually the best decision for us long term because we end up sort of trying to, again, dig ourselves out of the hole that we've dug for ourselves with our many purchases. And that kind of leads me on to one of the last pieces here, is that debt adds up really fast when you're having fun. It's really hard to keep track when you're just swiping that credit card over and over and over again whenever it feels right. So those are some of the biggest problems when it comes down to using credit cards. All right, so now on to how to actually stop using these credit cards, right? So one of the first ways, or the best ways I think, to stop using those credit cards is to actually create a budget. It's actually one of the only surefire ways that you'll know how you're actually spending your money, right? Because you do need to know how you're spending your money. And it's the only surefire way that you'll know what you're spending your money on, right? Besides actually combing through your bank account. And it's also one of the best ways to manage your finances overall. So when it comes down to stop using your credit card, this is going to be one of the best ways to go. Also, don't view budgets as restrictions. View them as sort of permission to spend money on certain things, right? Certain categories or what have you. Now, if you are completely new to budgeting, check out my video on how to budget. I'll leave it up here and also in the description below, so you can watch that after this video. So another way you can stop using your credit cards is to actually remove them from your wallet. So what are they doing in there anyway, right? So if you have a habit for reaching for your credit card whenever the wind blows, having them in your wallet isn't going to help you. So it's sort of that out of sight, out of mind thing, right? And if you have it out of sight, out of mind, I mean, chances are you won't have left a trail of debt behind, right? So you can't use them if you don't have them with you during those tempting moments in your life. Now, another way that you can stop using your credit cards is going to be very closely related to what we just talked about, and that is lock your credit cards in a safe or hide them in a place that's not easy to get to. Make sure you put them somewhere that would be a headache for you to actually go and retrieve them, right? So if you just set your credit card on your desk or on your nightstand or something like that, it's going to be way too easy for you to just run back in the house and grab it before you actually head out to the store. So having it hidden somewhere, or somewhere where it's not easily accessible, this way it will make having to get your credit card such a pain that in many cases you'll just give up on actually going to get it, and at the very least it's going to delay those purchases that you don't need to make anyway. Now, another way that you can stop using your credit card is to just shred them, right? Oh yeah. So now we're moving on to the stuff that really hurts, right? Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt a lot of people out there, right? But you can't use the card if it's not usable. So pull out those scissors, or if you have one of those fancy shredders or what have you, go ahead and pull those out and just start going to town on those credit cards and just cut them up. And then here's a pro tip: you can separate each individual piece and throw out each piece all over the city. That way it'll make it that much harder for you to try to tape them all back together if things get really tough. So there's another pro tip for you, right? Now, another way that you can stop using your credit cards is to just avoid triggers, right? So it sounds really simple, but maybe it's not, depending on what those triggers are. But if you can avoid these places, things, and people that actually make you want to pull out that credit card and start swiping away, well, that might be a really good approach. And really, if you don't have the money right then and there for whatever you're buying, then maybe you shouldn't buy it. So don't feel too bad about it. Just let folks know that, hey, you're cutting back on your spending, or you're cutting back on your credit card use. And if they keep giving you a hard time, I mean, chances are they probably won't, but if they do, then just they're not really your friends anyway, right? I don't know. Okay. Now, another way that you can stop using your credit cards is to actually remove them from your app. So you know the ones where it's sort of auto-filled out there in your browser or auto-filled in those apps that you use, you know, like that Amazon app that you guys use so much. Now, this is mainly for you guys who are out there like you're just online shopping fiends, right? You know who you are. Now, I've just uncovered something. I know I have. I know a lot of you didn't think that I would remember that you have your credit card just saved in those little apps, right? And that way, if it's shredded, it doesn't matter. Or if it's hidden away, it doesn't matter. Well, this is another way that you can stop using those credit cards, because if they're not in your apps, then that means you can't use them. So there's another way to stop using those credit cards. Now, another way that you can stop using those credit cards is to actually plan for large expenses rather than just dumping it all on your credit card. So that's going to be another, strategic way that you can actually stop using those credit cards. So instead of doing that, what you want to do is you want to just plan ahead. So plan ahead for those large expenses. That way you don't fall victim to that feeling of, number one, instant gratification that has so plagued our society these days, right? And then also, number two, you're not going to find yourself in a situation where you're just continuously adding large purchases onto your credit card bill, and again, making it just, grow and grow and grow every single month. Now, the next way to stop using your credit card is to exercise self-control. So I know, again, it's easier said than done, right? But if you really want to stop using your credit cards, then you're going to really need to exercise some sort of self-control. So just know that your future self is going to thank you for it. So make sure you go ahead and exercise that self-control. Now, if you made it this far in this video, thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the thumbs up sign if you liked the video. Also, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more videos just like this every Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.